Good morning and welcome to Real Life with Andrea. Today we are going to start a clip from yesterday morning before I got sick. I know one of the things that you can't see in this video is the dog hair that's everywhere from blow drying the dogs. The sheets were covering some of it so that it didn't get where it didn't belong, but I mean to tell you, ladies, gentlemen, this kitchen was clean yesterday morning. Garbage, mop buckets. Oh, look at the kids' room. We won't even go in the closet because that's not even garbage can. Laundry. I mean, I did 8 loads of laundry yesterday. I still have a full laundry basket. My bathroom. Oh, and guess what? After bathing the dogs yesterday, here's an interesting little tidbit. My bathtub backed up and I cannot get it empty and clean. And do you know that someone actually took a shower in that gross stuff? Yes. Yes, they did. That's not so bad right there. All right, heading out. There's my stairs to upstairs. I mean, just piles of stuff. How does this happen? I mean, like that, you know, that's our stuffed animal pile. It's always like that, but here, one of my kids did their laundry, decided not to fold it and put it away. Picked up so that we could clean the carpet, never got to it. Look at the carpet. You can see the differences between where it was covered and where it wasn't. Mud season. Toys not put away. Good job. It's just overwhelming. Overwhelming. Hello. So, welcome to Real Life with Andrea. So yesterday I was sick in bed from about 10 o'clock until really this morning. I was knocked out, vomiting, the whole 9 yards. Really could barely move, which left my house at the mercy of my children. And as you saw in the first clip, it was already a disaster before I got sick. So started off my day feeling really great, getting stuff done, and then bam, mid-morning just hit like a force of nature, and that was it for my day. So it kind of threw my whole day off the tracks. So this morning I woke up feeling much better, but feeling frustrated that yesterday was so out of control that my kids didn't really pick up the ball and at least clean up after themselves and not make the situation in the house worse, yada, yada, yada. But, so I'm thinking about being frustrated, and I did do a little reel this morning on frustration, but right now I'm walking home from walking my daughter to school, so there's a little bit of road noise and other things going on, so I hope you can bear with through that. I hope it isn't too much noise, but as I think about frustration, and again, I mentioned that at counseling last week, we talked about one of the concepts that we're talking about is God, your heart, your actions, right? So when I put God first, it affects my heart and it affects my actions, right? So one of the things that was mentioned was like, if you're frustrated, then those things must be out of order. And I disagreed. And I said, well, you know, Jesus got frustrated. And, you know, when you feel on the spot, you don't always give the best examples. So she asked, what do you mean by that? And I gave an example. And she was like, oh, well, it's just semantics. Okay, well, I dismissed all of that. But over through the week, I've been thinking about frustration and anger and other emotions and feelings that we have. And that idea that when we put God first, it affects our heart, which affects our actions. And I really believe that frustration is not a sin. It doesn't mean things are out of whack. If I'm frustrated, that doesn't mean things are out of whack in that way. God can still be first, which affects my heart. I can still be frustrated. Paul got frustrated, right? I really believe that frustration, that our emotions are not a sin. Jesus experienced every single emotion that we could ever experience. What does that tell us? It tells us that the emotion itself is not sin, but what we do with it. So he experienced these things and he did not sin. So I can have frustration and not treat people badly. I can be frustrated and work through that. I think David, so you saw frustration. We are never going to be able to get rid of these emotions. God gave them to us for a reason, to challenge us, to help us see what's going on. I mean, I think that all of these emotions, they're all God-given. And what are we going to do with them? And I know that, through the fall, things enter the world that weren't originally supposed to be in the world, and that we are sinners at the core, and that is all very true. I just think that we have to be careful not to call things a sin that are not a sin. So I just want to challenge everybody today, as you are walking through your day and you feel these negative emotions, take it to the Lord and know that if you are not treating people badly, if you are acting in a right manner, that emotion, that feeling is not sinful. It's how you handle it. It's what you do with it. It's how you treat others and where God is in your life. Frustration, it's not an idol. Anger, it itself is not an idol. It's what you do with it that would make it an idol. So, think about that. Think about how you view these things. And I hope that that's a little bit encouraging today as you go throughout your day, to be able to put things in the correct perspective. We are human. We are on this earth. We are human. And we need to be careful not to weigh ourselves down with what some people call as truths that is not truth. I mean, yes, we could call it semantics, but the reality is, as much as we need to walk every single day trying to do our best and to grow closer to the Lord and closer to that perfection, we will never achieve perfection until we go to heaven. And therefore, what we need to be is forgiving, both of others and ourselves. We need to stay in right relationship with the Lord. Most of all, we need to recognize when we fall out of relationship and get back in relationship as quickly as possible, both with God first and with others around ourselves. Be quick to apologize. Be slow to anger. Be slow to act on that anger. Give other people the benefit of the doubt. Think of others more highly than yourself. Put them first. And ladies and gentlemen, I know that the hardest thing to do, people do that with, is your family. You are with them day in and day out, and they should know better. They should know how you feel about this. They should know. And as a parent, we have a job to teach and correct our children. How do we do that in a loving way when they don't want to be taught and corrected? Sometimes it comes across as harshness. Just be careful. Be careful that you are walking with the Lord in that, and He will honor that through your children. It will not come back to haunt you. It's when we act out of our selfishness and our humanness, and we get angry and we treat them poorly in a manner, really, that we're expecting them not to act, that we run into trouble. But when we follow the Lord, His plan, His ways, then His word and His ways, will leave a lasting mark on our children and the people in our lives. Let me know what you think about that. If you think I'm way off base, But as I read God's word and I submerge myself in these concepts and I talk with others who are also walking with the Lord and teaching and reading and involved in Bible studies, I just begin to really challenge myself and my thoughts about some of these things that, becoming a Christian in the 70s, wow, it looks so much different from what I knew then. And it was so much more legalistic. And yet at the same time, now I'm in my 50s and it's 2023. And is God different? No. Is his word different? No. But the way God is helping me to see his word and what he means and what it means to love other people, and where we see that some of these rules that even we see in the Bible, but they were put there by man. When we look at the Jewish community and we see that God says right in there, you added all these rules. Those were not from the Lord. Were they bad? Not necessarily. But if something hinders you from being able to walk in your relationship with the Lord, in the freedom, in that knowing that you are a child of God, knowing that he loves you, in the truth of what is actually the gospel message, then yes, it is wrong. So we have to be careful not to look at some of these rules as things that are ordained by God. The Bible is our tool. It is the word. The word is sharper than any two-edged sword, and God gave it to us to help us. But we need to be careful that we are not taking it out of context. So having said all of that, I'm really struggling with this counseling that I'm doing and what the purpose of it is. Let me know what you think about counseling. What do you think counseling is for? What is the purpose of counseling? What is it supposed to do for you? I've always struggled with the concept of counseling. And now I'm in counseling, and I'm not finding it valuable. How long do you give it before you decide that it's not something that's helping you? I mean, I'm spending my time and my energy on assignments, and I feel like it's just a repeat of all the other things that I'm doing. I don't know. If you'd like to share your opinion, please comment below. If you have liked this video and you would like to see more, please, airplane above, so you can see it. There it is. We live close to an airport. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button. Whew. This has been a long walk on the heels of being sick. But thank you for joining me on this walk and for listening. I hope something I've shared has been helpful. And any comments that you have for me would be helpful for me. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.